Hi everyone, my name is Chevon Stewart and I am a board certified dance movement therapist as well as a PhD candidate at Lesley University in their expressive therapies program and teaching faculty at Antioch University, New England. My research interests are in building anti-oppressive education in dance movement therapy. And in order to approach this, I wanted to first explore the lived experiences of students and recent graduates of color in graduate DMT programs in a second year pilot study, which I call the lived experiences of people of color in DMT graduate programs. This idea came from discussions with former supervisees who are people of color, colleagues, reflecting on my own experiences, as well as listening to the needs from the Multicultural Diversity Committee of the ADTA. The research is an attempt to research back, as discussed by Smith 2001 and Brown and Schrager 2005, and which reflects on using research as a tool for people who are on the margins in a given community. Through use of a phenomenological, arts-based, and anti-oppressive approach, I set out to build understanding on what current students and recent graduates in the past 3 years have been experiencing in DMT graduate programs. In order to do this, I used propulsive and snowball sampling methods, recruited 5 participants, but one did not show for the interview. I had 2 participants who identified as African American or Black, 1 Native American and white participant, and 1 Latinx and white participant. All participants self-identified as cisgender women. To gather data, 2 semi-structured interviews were used. The first interview gathered basic demographic information, and the second interview was more in-depth. Interviews ranged from 30 minutes to 2 hours in length, and they were a combination of in-person and online. All interviews were audio and video recorded. The analysis of data was completed through using 2 methods. The first method was developed by Dr. Tomoyo Kawano called embodied listening, and in this method I video recorded myself moving to the audio recording of my participants. I then observed the video recording along with the transcripts of the participant and notated on the transcript passages in which I had a response to through movement. From there, I used Gilligan Adol's listening guide method, and I created I poems and listened for contraptional voices for each participant and then synthesized these voices through 5 rounds of review. In order to situate the voices, I used Ronstadt and Scobolt's theory of professional development. This theory has 4 phases which I use, which were lay helper, beginning student, advanced student, and novice professional. These 7 voices were found within these different phases. These voices were realization, waver, and exhaustion, which was a manifestation of confusion around DMT identity, and exhaustion with having to share parts of their social locations. Purpose, which was motivation, which really guided students of color throughout their DMT education. Anger, disappointment, and sadness occurred when participants experienced things such as cultural insensitivity in the classroom, uh, racism, or microaggressions. Privilege spoke to various levels of privilege that they held due to education or economic privileges. Caretaking and advocacy uh, represented for students of color these moments where they had to advocate or educate around areas of cultural awareness in the classroom for their peers or for professors. And acceptance and support usually came from peers and or support from supervisors or professors. So several interesting findings emerged from this study, one of which was cultural resiliency. For African American participants in particular, they spoke to spirituality and community guiding them through their DMT education. And another interesting finding was that 2 out of 4 participants reported feeling confused about what they wanted to do in their career, despite having received mentorship, either in their education or once they became professionals. And one possibility that I'm exploring here is if this could be due to participants not feeling seen within their education. These findings also supported research from the Lit Review, which discussed experiences of racism, microaggressions, and cultural insensitivity. Some limitations in this study are in recruitment of only cisgender women, and it is also missing an member from the Asian American community. So thank you all for taking the time to listen and to this poster uh, presentation, and I look forward to hearing your questions or thoughts. Take care.